Hello, everyone. As usual, I want to check the sound on it, how everything's sounding. Um, we've got quite a bit of things to go over today. Hi, Henry, Donald, how are you? Aloysius, Graham. Oh, by the way, too, please let me know whether the sound and the video is working all right. Hi, Nigel. Steve? We're in for it, Steve. Weather-wise, sound and video are perfect. Great, thank you. I button up here. Yeah, we're having a really weather-wise. I mean, temperature-wise, it's pretty nice today, but it's going to be going down. Hello, Charles. How are you? Hater, Viraj. How are you? Okay. Marco. Let's get started because, like I said, hi, Paul. We have a lot of things to say, and if there's something that you want to ask about or you want to bring up or something you found out about or whatever, please bring it up. So to get going, all right. This week, I think I said this last week, but it's this week, beginning today. Today is the 51st week. All right, beginning of the 51st week of the year. And this is when Combla Mine said that they would have our first 5 dials ready for us. So we'll see that. I certainly hope we do get them this time. It's been like you're waiting for FedEx. And then the remaining dials will be finished in the middle of April. So, they had said everything by the first quarter, and this is going to be just a little after the first quarter. And that I want to talk about the schedule too, and some other things that have happened. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Paul. Good to see you. Okay. So first of all, any questions about the dials or what we can do with that? That's already been done. Aloysius, Rob, poor Rob, he's been trying to get this thing with a bank. I don't know what the deal is with the bank. Here's what we can do if we have to with our international exchanges. We can put them back into the Sandlight account if you want to. I would rather everything go into a Lyrique account. Here's what we could do. We could send them to Sandlight, and then I could send them up to Chase. Okay. It's not. I mean, it's. I think it's one option. Rob has. I have no idea what the deal is with Chase. He said, well, he was thinking of changing to Bank of America. That's the bank I have, where IBAN was no problem whatsoever. There, they said, well, we can't get an IBAN for you. I don't know what the deal is with bankers. I mean, a lot of people who send international transfers need an IBAN. Okay, so that's what they need, and they act like, well, we don't use them anymore. Well, some people do, or some protocols use them. So we'll figure something out on that. I don't know if that's what you're asking about, Aloysius, but that's what the situation is. Hi, John. Hi, Edwards. Aloysius, why is there no IBAN number? Because no matter how hard he's tried, Rob, I mean, here he's dealing with Chase Bank. That's a big international bank. I don't know. We've used an IBAN number in the past. So listen again, okay? If this is looking like it's impossible, we can send it into the Sandlight account. The reason I don't want it in the Sandlight account is because we have our Etude number 2 funds there. However, if what I can do, if we get them into the Sandlight account, I can shoot them up to the Lyrique account because I've got all the numbers that Rob should have, and he did ask for and didn't get. Okay, is that clear now, Aloysius, for an answer to that question? I just want to make sure you understand a possibility on that. Okay. All right. Hi, Marco. I have managed to transfer money through Wise without IBAN. That's great news. If we can do that, that's fantastic, Paul. That would be great. Viraj, I have sent using Swift. Now, the Swift code is the one we need. We do have we had the wrong Swift code. We finally had a code we needed, and I think something screwed it up. But now we have the right one. If we can do it with Swift, if we can do it directly to the Lyrique account, that's going to be important. Okay, Nigel, 4 guys in my group need IBAN. I know. So yeah, okay, fine. They can. I mean, what I'll do, Nigel, I'll just shoot them up to Lyrique. I'll get them out of my account right away. I think I can do it with. It depends on what they were. I'd like to do it like in one shot. There's a way I can do it that it would cost us $1, and I may do that. The reason for that is so I don't have to make 5 or 6 Zelle transfers because they have a limitation. I have no idea what mine is limited to. I can try it with Zelle because that's quick and it's cheap. So we'll see. And there's Zelle on both ends. That was one thing. It doesn't seem like it, but Rob and I really worked together to get this thing working. And, by the time we're finished, Rob and I'll be international bankers, and we'll be selling at a very high price advice to Chase Bank because they don't know jack, at least the ones he has to deal with. I am really just fed up with those guys. Sorry. If anybody has a relative in Chase Bank, I apologize. Okay. Graham, let's see. The same as, okay, you made it. Okay, great. Did notice that the account number was at different address in New York. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you for that, Graham. Charles, I sent mine through Zelle, and my payments have not shown in your account. Charles, you're in the U.S., right? Zelle's come right away. Did Zelle send you an acknowledgement that everything was working okay? If they did, go ahead and send it to Donald and let him know, and then we can then he can check it through Rob. Great. Yeah. John, are you in Canada, John? Is that correct? How you doing, Brian? I followed up with Rob already. Okay, great. Good. I'm glad. That's really important. It's one of those things, like I said, Rob and I really did work on the thing before Rob he got his well-deserved vacation, and then he gets back. And okay, all right, let's moving right along. Um, okay, you're in the U.S., John, so U.S. is no problem. So that's, yeah, U.S. It's U.S. to U.S. Somehow Chase doesn't have a problem with that. Also too, I'm glad that Zelle works. It's so easy. All you need is a email address and zippity doo dah, and it's all done. So, and that's been working well. Okie doke. Let's go right along here. Okay, now this is what the delivery is looking like right now. All right, this is I put that up. I have a spreadsheet that I got from Matthew, and he had it all set up for us. And it's looking like we'll get it in May. I mean, we'll get the actual watches in May. If you take a look at the schedule, you'll see that we don't get the hands until March, about the middle of March. Fiedler will be providing the hands. Once we have the hands, then we can have it put together, what we'll have put together. I think we'll have the dials from about right around 30 watches, maybe 20. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to take a look because it's on the schedule that I put up. It's on that little thing I put up on the spreadsheet for everyone. So, I mean, that's the situation. Let me give you some background on that because this is so different from Etude number one. Etude number one had its own challenges, but not like these. What happened, and I think it's our fault. I think once everybody saw the watch that we got with Etude one, they all wanted one from Agenor. I don't know what it was. But Agenor right now is under a huge amount of pressure from Moser, Parmigiani, Hermes, and Singer to get everything done for them. And I say that because I know all of these companies had worked with Agenor before we came along, okay? And sort of like we're the new customer. I don't know whether this is true or not, but we may be the last little customer that they'll take. I feel very fortunate, but on the other hand, that's the situation. They're really, I guess things got turned around. The pandemic, it was hard getting parts and everything, and then over the last year, they've been sort of gunning things up. So anyway, so it looks like we'll have them on our wrist in May. That was everybody, and at least they'll be shipped by then. The plan is still doing it with first, this time around will be to the US, then to Europe, then to Asia and Australia. Last time it was Asia, Australia first, US second, Europe third. And then on Etude number 3, it's going to be Europe first, Asia second, and the US third in terms of sequence. So we're, trying to make it good for everybody. I don't know if good's the right word, but that would be the way we're doing it. Okay. Hi, Michael. I'm assuming Mattel or Agenor suggested the company to put the watch together. You anticipate me quite well. Yeah, exactly what happened. Let me tell you about this company that I was even sent an offer for them for 180 Swiss francs per watch. It went a little further than it should have before they contacted us. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to, roll on the floor and scream about it, but it should have, because there were some details I've got to fix in it. Primarily, it included shipping. And I told I talked to Matthew. I said we're sticking with Mike on shipping. It would be, I don't want to pull the rug from under him, and so just not a good idea. So I'm going to contact the, I don't know how you'd say it. It's sometimes the British have a wonderful saying. It's called "they're too clever by half," and I think these guys wanted to have something that sounds cool. And anyway, what it is a guy named Sebastian Nemo. It looks like Monet, but I ran it through the French pronunciation, and you guys who speak French can correct me if they're wrong, but Sebastian, the last name sounds more like Nemo than it does Monet. So everybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that was what I heard. So I think the way it works, the MA is for, I'll say Monet, for Monet Atelier Day, and then the E is for exceptionals or something, and then for the subtitle he has Atelier d'Horlogerie. Okay, and I guess MAD H didn't sound right, so he put the E in there for exceptionals or something like that. Look it up on the web, and it's a company. Now, one of the things about it is that I put the address up there, and you'll notice that the address is co-located both with Agenor and where Matthew has his office. So I feel pretty good about that, and I'm, like I said, something that, if it comes down to a big long decision making by me and us, or keeping it moving, I'll go with the keep it moving right now. So I'm glad that that Matthew did come up with it, and so that's where we are on that. No, it wasn't that. Yeah, don't worry about that, Brian. It's fine, but it in a way I'm very glad, and here's why. I know when Agenor has just been incredibly busy, and it's like I'd rather have another company that they feel confident that specializes in this kind of thing. The unit price of 180 Swiss francs, it's a little more than I think we need to have for that. So I've got to talk to him about and say, look, all you guys have to do, there's a special courier that runs between Geneva and Le Loc. I've even seen pictures of it. It's a little panel truck, and they can put our watches in there and our cases. That's all they have to do, and they'll go up to Michael, and to Mike, and he'll take care of it for us for shipping. Okay, but the other thing is they're going to have to gather everything together because you got stuff coming into Agenor from all these different places. The pouches are already there. That's one I got to hand it to the pouch guys, man. We make an order and boom, it's done. So, but and I like those pouches too, by the way. So anyway, anything else on that I can say or ask about? Okay. The next thing is Etude number 3. Where are we on that? The organizational group, who adjusts in 6th position, is it Agenor or the assembler? Agenor is going to be assembling the movement and doing that, Paul. These guys are just assembling it's where they have to put together the different parts that come in, the case, the dial, the movement, the hands, and they've got to put all of that together. And but it's the adjustments, the 6 positions are adjusted by the movement maker, by Agonor. It's a good question, though. The other thing too, I think we get our first. Well, I think it's 15 that we get right away. 15 or 20. Let me take a quick look here. Timeline. Okay, on the delivery timeline, we get this is by March. We should have the movement. We should have 75 of our movements by then. We should have all of our hands by then. The holdup is going to be, in terms of the numbers, we'll have only a total of 20 everything we need. I guess the straps, I haven't paid too much attention to the straps. Bosador, in February, it'll have all of our buckles ready. And let's see, Protexo will have our hostage straps all ready in the 10th week. Now, really, as far as straps is concerned, I don't want them to do a rush job on it, but we're only going to have 20 full watches available in March if they put it together for us, because we're only going to have 20 dials by then. So what to do with those? Okay, this is my plan, and I want your feedback too. We're going to have 20 watches that we will have by then. Now, thinking ahead to the Grand Prix, which will be, I think it's May that we start putting our entries in. I've got all of the entry stuff ready to go this time around. What stopped us last time was the fact that if we did make nominations, we wouldn't have a watch for the nominations, which would it'd be a waste of money, really, to even go into it. This time, though, we're all set for that. So we're going to have 20 watches, let's say in March. I'm going to give one to the GPHG watch will go to Matu. The other one will go to the Horological Society of New York. This is in March, and I'm there. It'll take them 3 weeks to run it through their chronometer test, and then later on they can put it in their auction. So I think those two would be two very important ones. Matu is going to be sort of he's going to wear it and tell everybody about it. And so it's sort of like a little PR stuff going on at the same time. In fact, that's the major reason he gets it initially. And he's very good at that. The other 3 more of those I want to send to our 3 transfer coordinators, to Paul and Kirk and Benny. All right, so they have one. And then I'm going to need one because I think it's going to be important to do a video on it. And I have my weekly video thing, and I can do it on that. And also making a video. And what I'd like to do is Hader had this fabulous slow motion video that he had. We got to put together like a 1-minute video. And one of the guys that Nigel had sent me, who hasn't acknowledged. He's not very good at acknowledging stuff. I know the guy. This is the guy that I'm hoping will make the music for us. He works at Abbey Road Studios in London, and used to be a member of the band called the Bee Gees back in the day. So, and the guy's super talented. So I hope he comes along, but sometimes he just disappears, because I checked with him right before we started the list. I said, Rudy, are you going to be, you still want to watch? Oh yeah, I still want to. We'll see. I'll contact him and see if I can get him moving on that. Etude number 3. Now, according to his, and I haven't been bugging him about it, and because I've been too busy, but I do want to get the renderings for Etude number 3 from Matu. They're due this month, and we got all the funds together and paid him for them. So that's something that, I know he's been busy too, but this is something we want to give him a head start on. So we have that. Another thing about this, I got a notice from Nigel, and there could be some in the other ones too. And this is some filling up some of the slots and people who signed up for Etude number 3 and then changed their mind. That happened before with number 1. So happening again. I think we might have a little earlier video on 2 than we were planning, because we wanted to keep everything a big secret for a long time. And I understand that, but I don't know if it's such a good idea. I think that people realize, hey, we really have something more than, a lot of enthusiastic guys that would help us on that. And some other people I know I'll contact and, tell them that we'll have Paul go get them if give us a hard time. Okay, that's what I got now. Oh, by the way, too, I sent the offer in that the guys in the the organizational group, the group Abdul and Paul and those guys who Hader, who had put together an offer for Etude number 3 with Aganar. I took a look at it, and to tell you the truth, I think it was a little too high. All right. And I looked at they had a special deal for us. There were 2 groups and the offers, one from the top and then one from sort of a special one. So I took the special one and integrated it with the other one. So the prices were a little more reasonable. Okay. I hope you guys don't mind that, but we'll find out. I haven't heard back from them. Another thing I'll bug them about on that. I also didn't put in the percentages and all these other things. It was just a straight up thing. And then we can work with the percentages if they go ahead and go with it. Sometimes less detail gives you a little more wiggle room in this kind of a negotiation with this. So anyway, okay, that was the last thing I wanted to mention. Anything else you guys have? I got one more thing if nobody has. Oh, okay, good. Viraj, this is a good question. I mean, it's an excellent question. This is what I pretty much was wrestling with. In the context of the business and doing well in business, your wholesale orders, the larger your wholesale order, the more likely you are to get a better price. I mean, and when we saw the numbers they gave us, it's a whole lot better. We're not talking about a few bucks. We're talking about $1,000 per 100. So if something was 4,000 or 5,000, it was $1,000 less with 200, and $1,000 more or less, $2,000 less with 300, something like that. And we're in this very unusual position, and I think Paul and the other guys realize that, and I think that Agenor realizes it too. We're a pretty unique group, and if my understanding was this. This is how I took the Paul and the organizational group did a lot of work on this. They put a lot of thought into it, and I was able to take that, and they said what we could do is sort of on this end, pay for the first 100 for people getting Etude number 3, and then about a year from now, when we start up Etude number 4, that's when we'll pay for the second group, the second 100 of the kits or the movements. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. We'll see. But that would be, if we could do it that way, we would save about $1,000 per movement, something like that. And I think that would be great if we could do it. We'll see. We haven't heard back from them. It sounds like it's like they are just incredibly busy right now. So let me check, Henry. I could have put you on the wrong list. That's possible. I had to, there were some things that I changed because I thought I had made a mistake, and I may not have made a mistake. So I made a mistake by changing. Henry, I'll follow that up and see what the deal is, okay? You're on the Americas, okay, by the Americas group. I will look into that, and I will get back to. Okay, so that sounds like my fault, Henry, that it didn't get on Donald's list. If it's not, I'll put it back there. Either that or it got dropped somehow. Okay, good, Donald. I'll do that right away. Yeah, so does Nigel. I get these things. I still getting stuff almost every day. Hey, I want to do this. I have no idea how committed people are, though. If they say, well, I want to get this, I want to get this watch, or that, so forth. We also had a deal. Oh, Henry, it's not very strange. Not very strange at all. Trust me. We got with all the people we got, it's not strange. Just take it as normal. All right. Behave yourself. Okay. Well, geez. No, these things happen. See, there's another thing. This could have happened. It could have been filled up when I got your name, and I didn't think. And then later on, you were put on, and I missed it. We'll see what happened, but we'll take care of you. Okay. And I'll go stand in a corner if I screwed up. Okay. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Anything else before I do? There was another thing I want to talk to you guys about. Anything else you guys have, though? Oh, bank charges. Here's the thing on that. bank charges are all over the map. Okay, so we'll get something in. Somebody's going to send in $3,200, and it's $3,175, and that's because they said, "Well, my bank charged $20." Well, if you're paying a bill to somebody and you send them minus a bank charge, you haven't paid the bill yet, and we're in the same boat. My bank coming in hasn't charged anything. If I make an international transfer, it doesn't cost us anything either. There's no charge. However, for some reason, if I send a straight transfer, a 3-day transfer, they charge $1. so that is something that, hey, well, that's one of the charges we have to absorb. But when it's like a lot of that, and there's more to it than that, then we've got an issue we have to deal with. We'll get you fixed, Henry. I tell you, we're good at making mistakes, but we're even better at fixing them. So we'll get you fixed. Hello, sleepyhead. Kirk's here. I don't know. Before Kirk came, we had a new rule that from now on, Kirk has to wear a dress. So it's too bad you missed that, Kirk. All right, here's what I want to talk about. Last night, I got a notice from this guy who said, "Oh, you got to see this video that had just been recorded." Good. And in the video, there were two guys, Paul Thorpe and a guy named and Tim. I've met Tim. I haven't met Paul. And they got into a big fight. All right. And then I guess in the peanut gallery off to the side where they make comments like we have here, some people were siding with Paul, some people were siding with Tim, and it was a big Donnybrook. All right. May I suggest that we stay out of those? I mean, we don't take sides. The reason for that is that I think, in getting out there, if we don't have any enemies, there may be some people who don't think what we're doing is a great thing, and that's okay with me, but we don't want to become some kind of get involved in a controversy over that. I think basically what had happened, I think that Tim had said that Paul Thorpe he had some kind of notoriety about all the thefts in England. People were mugging people with watches. It's really amazing. I thought we had the corner on that market, getting mugged. But he said, and then he was using that for something about the watch vault and cassettes, and it's like, I don't know what the deal was. It wasn't like it wasn't, from what I can understand, it wasn't like the thing with the what's his name, the timepiece guy who ran off with everybody's money, but rather it was like, well, you're using one thing to advertise your watches. Well, that's, as long as somebody buys a watch and you send it to them, I'm okay with that. But they really got nasty with each other. So you can, if you want to, you can take a look at Paul Thorpe's channel, and it's something about the name of it. Just was made yesterday. But let's stay out of those kinds of things, just because there's no good that I can see that'll come, and there's a lot of bad that could come. I think we all been very patient. We've all done a lot of work, and we've all taken a chance with this whole crazy enterprise that we're in. And I think it's going to be extremely important that we we focus on what we're doing and not blast anybody else's. That's all I wanted to say. Uh, Brian, I don't know if that's it or not. I'm not. All I know, it was like it got into a very nasty discussion. You can take a look at it and you'll see. But I couldn't. I mean, they weren't talking about horology. This is one of the things I think that so many channels I looked at, they're really not. They don't talk about horology. They talk about watches, but not that I think the important things in watches is, finding really good watches. I mean, watches, when I say good watches that have, that have something horologically. We can talk about the movement and the hairspring and the balance wheel and all those kinds of things on a watch, but talking about, well, this thing went up 10% or down 10% or something like that. And it, to me, that's not too interesting, but people do it. Well, they also get in big brawls, and like, that's not what we're doing. We're trying to get really good horology. I mean, not really good. I mean, exceptional horology. Really something that we probably couldn't afford otherwise. If something like a 40, 50,000, 60, 70,000 dollar watch, when you stop and think about it, this is our second watch, and it's our second movement because the other one was revised heavily into a new number. The next one is going to be even more so. And so we're sort of in a rarefied area, and there's no sense in getting into a brawl with somebody over anything other that I can see. I mean, it's just sort of like, go fight with your shadow or something. But to get sides, and even though there's certain things that I do know, and on the one hand, I know that you know yeah, Paul, I this is the thing exactly. I know both of the guys, and I sort of met Tim, and he seems like a nice guy, and he does a lot of stuff, and he's helped us, I guess, promote what we've done. But I'm sure he's got a few flaws that they were publicly airing. Same thing with Paul. I agree with you on Paul Thorpe. He seems a nice enough guy, but he's like, there's I don't not a guy who I would say, oh, tell me all about horology. He just not That's not his thing. His thing is selling watches. And so, like I said, it would be very easy to jump into that discussion and start, taking sides. But I just think that if we could, we ought to avoid those kinds of fights. I mean, listen, I'm sure that a lot of people think I'm a jerk because of my views on silicone hairsprings. Others aren't. There's more controversy. When I say controversy, there are different views on it. And some are for it, some aren't. But I think perhaps I may even spout off about it more than I should sometimes. But that's an argument I can have in a very civil context, and not against the people who have silicone hairsprings in their watches. It's just something I don't care for. I mean, it's just not what I consider to be, me and the Geneva Seal Foundation consider to be cricket. But that's, why fight about? I mean, if you understand it, I mean, there's just like getting into a fight. It's just not worth it. Just as I say, it's just not worth the candle. V-Raj, that's V-Raj said what I meant better than I could say it. It's exactly right. Okay, so that was about it. Anything else you guys uh, want me to look into or deal with? Yeah, there you go, Aloysius. Okay, guys. Well, listen. We have this all recorded. I'll be I'll be contacting Alex, and this is the Alex, the who is the project manager at Agenhor for our movement for the Etude, the AGH 6850 that for Etude number 3, and also Nicholas, and see where we are on that the offer that we made him on that. So I will contact him on that, because this place is going to close down pretty quickly. It may. Aloysius, when do they start Christmas break in Switzerland? It's pretty soon, I know. It's like the bears that we have in Connecticut. They go into hibernation, and we don't see them again till spring when everybody's trash can is knocked over. So I wanted to check on that. And anyway, and I'll also talk to Matt too about getting that the imagery done for us. Anything else that you guys need? Oh, okay. So it's a little later. So we got a little time. We don't have much, but a little. We'll see if we can do it. And we'll take care of Henry, okay? We'll make sure he's taken well care of. I don't know how that happened, unless I put it on the wrong list. And if I did, I'll figure out where it is. Okay, guys. I guess a week from tomorrow is Christmas. So I guess if it's okay with everyone, we can have our next meeting at 1 week from today, which would be the 24th, I think. And I'll give you an update then. Okay. Hi, Hater. Take care.